Hey, my beautiful people. Today is day 5 of our 30 for 30 progressive exercises for my stroke survivors. Today we are working on doing some upper body movements, but utilizing the wall as our base. And it's going to help us really get those arms and things extended. So I have, I think 5 exercises I wanted to show y'all today. We're going to start off first with our shoulder shrugs, which were demonstrated in our video yesterday. And what the shoulder shrugs is, the best part of this, what I want you to do today is really focus and try to put a mirror in front of you. And the reason I want you to do that is because while you're trying to do these movements, you don't have the feeling, and a mirror really helps your brain to recognize and understand, hey, our non-affected side is doing this, let's do the same thing so we can get our affected side to do this. So when you can actually visibly see, it does help you a lot more. So place the mirror in front of you. I'm going to act as the mirrors in front of you. Place the mirror in front of you. And again, our first exercise is our shoulder shrug. So if you notice in the mirror, as you're looking in the mirror, hey, my affected side isn't really moving, the mirror will gauge that to say, hey, try a little harder. And when you're really trying to get that affected side to move, you really do have to kind of press a little harder and work a little harder to get that movement going. So we have 15 shoulder shrugs. This is where we are for here. And really get the shoulders up and press back into the wall. So I really want you to feel that stretch up, back into the wall. So it's almost as if you're rolling it. Up, back, boom, and dropping it down. So it's almost a reverse 360. So we have 15 of those. Next, we're going into our wing raise. So I am pretty far distance away from the wall. So my arm could pretty much go straight here. But I'm going to come a little closer because for some of my survivors who do not have full extension on the elbow, I'm in closer for a wing raise. So what this will help you do is to strengthen that scapular overall. So I'm going to purposely bend my elbow, thinking about the spasticity and tone that may be in your elbow that would not allow you to fully extend. And depending on where you are able to raise, that is totally fine. And if you're, say for instance, only able to raise your arm and we're assisting it with our non-affected arm to here, I want you to start off with marking it. So therefore, as you continue to do this over weeks, you get to see the progress that you made. So if you started down here, eventually we're up here, that'll be great for you as to keep pushing yourself to say, hey, it's working with me just getting through these things. So it may not be as easy in the beginning, but our wing raise is our first one. On our wing raise, our goal is for 15 of these. And again, I am assisting this arm and you're gonna lift it as high as you can. And as you get it up there, we can work on, so your elbow may not even go against the wall. That'll be our second part of this. But so say for instance, if you're stuck here and with this non-affected arm, you're actually holding it against the wall to actually give it that stretch and get that blood flow in it. You're dropping it back down and we're going back up. And really try to get it higher each time. And you'll definitely feel, if you keep pressing high, you'll definitely feel that stretch going throughout that scapula. 15 times we have this for a wing raise. Our second part of this is going to be calling it the L extension. And what the L extension is, it's going to be the extension of the elbow, utilizing the wall again as our base. And I'm telling you that mirror will help. The mirror will do wonders if you can have the mirror in front of you while you're doing these arm exercises. So from our wing raise, we're now going to work on, say for instance, if you have this stiffness in your elbow, we're going to work on taking this non-affected arm and pressing it against the wall. So that's the exercise. So it's driving it in and we're going extension. Driving it in, extensions. We have L extension. L extension, we have 15 of these as well. And depending, again, I'm going to always say the level of spasticity you have and immobility you may have will determine how much you have to work, because this can be pretty challenging to based off your tone. We have 15 L extensions here. Relax the arm here. And slide back over. And in between, because that right there, I do have the mobility in my arm. That right there definitely tire my arm out. So you may want to take some time to stretch, do a shoulder shrug to work those shoulders to get some fluid moving in there, just to relax those muscles a little bit. So that'll be good to do that. Now we're gonna go with our straight arm extension, and we're using the wall definitely to help with that. So if your arm does not extend on its own, a long sleeve does help. As I pull up the leg when I'm trying to do leg raises, we can do it this way, take it over, or we can actually work from the wrist. And I'm gonna start with the fist closed, which my nails are a little too long, so if you're dealing with still a fisted situation, that's fine. I'll show you how to pry the fingers over. So if your fist is closed, this could be one part that you're doing. And what I'm doing is pressing the fist up against the wall, and with this hand, I'm pressing against the floor. So therefore, we can work on keeping that elbow straight and applying the pressure. I'm actually gonna open my fingers right now because my nails are digging into the wall. So the straight arm raise is what we're going for right here. So what I want you to do with the straight arm raise is really focus on trying to hold this up here for 5 to 10 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds, and what you're doing is applying the pressure from the floor and against the wall to work on stretching that elbow out and getting your arm used to being up. Eventually we'll begin to raise it up overhead. So if you can only get yourself to right here, that's totally fine. If you could get yourself a little higher and still apply the pressure, this is going to help you with getting that arm all the way up over the head. So you come a little higher, looks like this. Press into it from the floor and from the hand. So you'll begin to feel that stretch. We're going to bring that arm back down, and I don't want you to allow the arm to drop. Slowly take the arm down. So if you have to assist it with bringing it down, definitely assist it with bringing it down. And our goal for this, because this one is more challenging than we have our wing raise and our L extension, we're going for 10 of these. So we're going for 10 straight arm raises, pressing against the wall. And your goal, again, holding it for 5 to 10 seconds. 10 straight arm raises, 5 to 10 seconds. And again, challenge yourself. If you can get it higher, definitely get it higher. Press against it. There we go. 5 to 10 second hold. From that, we're gonna work on showing you how to pry those fingers open. So say for instance, I love the wall with this one. If your fingers are fisted, because it's pretty challenging to get those fingers open. So once you pry them open, I usually like to do this on a table, but a wall works great as well, especially since we're using a wall for these exercises. If you pry those fingers open, the wall is able to help you keep them straight. So boom, here, pry them open. And now we're using this wall as our base to press those fingers open. So now we have a 10-second hold for the fingers once you pry the fingers open. So prying of the fingers is one of the exercises. So again, we have our wing raise, L extension, straight arm raise, and we have prying the fingers open and utilizing the wall to hold those fingers straight. Applying pressure for pushing your right hand or your opposite hand into the floor and pushing the affected arm into the wall. Those fingers, you can hold it there for as long as you can. It'll be great if you can hold it for longer than 10 to 15 seconds. But if your hands get too tired, you have to allow it to rest. Guess what? We're just gonna go back to the same thing, get the arm back up here, pry those fingers open, hold it here again. And with this one, definitely challenging. If you can push yourself, and I'm gonna ask you to push yourself at least 15 seconds on this. And we're gonna do this for 5 times. So once you pry those fingers open, relax and always rest and listen to your body if you need to rest, or if you're, of course I'm moving at a much faster pace, but I want you to take your time when you're doing these videos. Our next one is going to be an overhead raise. So the overhead raise, taking our non-affected arm. So if your elbow is still pretty stiff and you're dealing with a situation, you can straighten that elbow out. We'll take it here, and you could even allow this arm to rest on your head. And so I'm pulling down with my non-affected side to assist me with getting this arm up overhead. And our goal for here, 10 seconds. So this one has a lot to do with time and getting our body used to holding things overhead. It helps with, it builds up the endurance basically to eventually help you to get that arm up. So we're working on building the endurance to get that arm up overhead. So we have this, holding this here. 10 to 15 seconds, and then if that's too easy for you, definitely push yourself to 30 seconds. We have these overhead raises. If you could get that elbow straight, definitely get that elbow straight. And the key thing is with using this wall, as I'm pressing to raise this arm up, I'm pushing my shoulders into the wall. So the wall is helping me to raise my arms up overhead. So that's what we're using this, pushing the shoulders up against the wall. And if this isn't good for you, you fear falling over to the side, and do the same thing. You can do the same thing with coming closer to the wall. So therefore, if you're trying to do this and your body goes to fall over, now the wall is helping you. And it's also helping you to guide you to get this arm a little straighter. So it can be done either way, away from the wall or even closer to the wall. Now I actually can get my arm straighter, and I'm pressing it against the wall, and then take my time and bring it back down. Do not allow that arm to drop. So actually it may be a little easier for you to use the wall to get the straight arm raised or to get it up over your head. You can pull it over, either way it works for you. But the goal for this one is pushing yourself, because this overhead raise is not easy at all. And always stop, listen to your body, stretch the shoulders out, warm them up, loosen up the muscles in the joints as we're doing these exercises. So we have our wing raise, L extension, straight arm raise, pressing up against the wall, finger pry, and those fingers open, pressing, arm raise overhead, here, extend, pull it over if your elbow doesn't want to extend, and using a wall to help you with extension as well. Day 5, I want to congratulate y'all on doing these exercises thus far. Please let me know how they're working for you. Take your time and do these exercises. The videos will always be up here. I did say 30-day progression, but the videos will always be. You can do these multiple times a day. You can do these you could do this for the full 30 days, come back and do everything around. You could, again, this is for progression. Even though I'm moving and my body is able to move, doing even simple things like this, I can still feel how it still stretches and challenges my affected side. So it's always good to do things and just remember to keep our body moving. Let me know how this works for you. Have a blessed day. Always, you can reach me on all social media sites at BodyTraceFit. Oh, and somebody asked me about the Survivor shirt I have. I do have that on my website, www.bodytracefit.com. You can buy the Survivor, and it's October Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so they're pink. You can buy the Survivor shirt. It says Heart, Mind, Spirit, Strong Survivor. So you can buy those shirts on my website, BodyTraceFit.com. They're $30. They'll be shipped out to you. I ship priority, so they'll come within less than a week. It's usually 2 to 3 days, depending on where you are. All right, thank you. I'll talk to you